Good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. All right, so we got some news on the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, we know Zach Martin's not going to be playing this week. Jerry Jones was on the fan today doing a little bit of talking. A couple of things that are kind of key here. Jerry Jones said this morning that they're more likely to add personnel to be a buyer as opposed to a seller. Okay, so they may be adding some personnel to the team. We don't know who, so they might be looking to do some trades. They could be looking to make some trades. But specifically, no. Generally, eyes wide open is what he said, as in we're looking around to see who can help our team. Another thing, Jerry Jones, he seemed to be a little bit adamant. Let me pull it. Where is it? I want to make sure I get it right. Okay, Jerry Jones, trade deadline. How many strong left tackles do you want to trade for and give up the kind of consideration to get a good left tackle or right tackle when you got Lyle Collins and Tyron Smith coming back? How much you want to give for that? You don't. So he's not looking for a tackle. We got all kinds of quotes from him. But he was definitely a little bit miffed by the whole situation. You know, when you see the national media talking about the Cowboys spiraling out of control and the locker room is lost and everything else, Jerry Jones does not like hearing that. So here's the other part that I was actually looking for. Diminishing the value or credibility of anonymous paper quotes ripping coaches. It has not, my goodness. If I spent my life making decisions based on some innuendo or something that I've read in the paper, I'd be a sick puppy. Okay? Questioning the report about the Cowboys feeling discontent in this season of chaos, as opposed to wondering if it had merit in doing what they can do, potentially taking care of most of the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh. Yeah, so what you got right now is Jerry Jones dealing with the messenger as opposed to dealing with the problem. You know the old saying, where there's smoke, there could be fire, or there is fire. And the fact that you're kind of hearing a rumbling now, unless Jane Slater made this up, okay, you know, he's kind of saying that this is bullshit, is what Jerry Jones is saying. That anonymous player, that if you put the person's name out there, he want to know who said this. I don't think Jane Slater's going to come out with that per se, but Jerry Jones is just kind of kicking it to the side and saying it doesn't have any credibility. But yeah, this is real problems for the Cowboys. You don't want to have discontent in the locker room. Another thing Jerry Jones said. Jerry Jones definitely is feeling some pressure and probably feels disappointment because right now he's looking at saying, I need a Super Bowl here. It's been too long. I'm getting old and everything else. So he's definitely getting a little testy, which means watch out. But he talked about Kellen Moore, because this is something, I don't know how this even came up, but said that Kellen Moore was not forced on Mike McCarthy. And see, this is where I'm kind of reading between the lines. He said Mike McCarthy came on board and liked having Kellen Moore, and he picked him. So I think what you're looking at is Jerry Jones setting the plate of, don't look at me in the organization, look at Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy picked his coaching staff. I think this is what it says to me, that he wanted Kellen Moore. He wanted Kellen Moore. I didn't tell him to take Kellen Moore because even though I knew him, even though I like him, I did not make him take him. And if that's the case with Kellen Moore, what he's also then going to do is say, Mike Nolan? I didn't force Mike Nolan on Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy picked his whole staff. So Mike McCarthy is now set up as the fall guy, in my mind. I can be wrong. I can be completely wrong. But this is Jerry Jones kind of separating himself away from all the bullshit. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned, because it's going to get interesting. And you talk about the Cowboys needing a victory. The Cowboys need a victory bad. If the Cowboys lose to the Washington football team this weekend, it's going to get really, really ugly. And somebody will be fired. Regardless of this whole thing of, kumbaya and we're happy with where we are. And, Jerry Jones says, well, we're only playing with 60% of our salary cap, because of all of our high priced talent is out. And that's a whole nother thing to deal with too. When you invest all your money up high and you lose those players, it's the guys down that low. And that's where you have to get a mix. This is the lesson that New England has learned, that you can't be top heavy in salaries and then have bums up underneath of it, because those bums are going to have to play. And if you're relying on your season going to guys that are second and third teams and you haven't put money into it, you will fail. And sadly, this is something that's been repeated with our team over and over and over again. We pay a whole lot of money to guys and hope that they're going to be what they were that one time every time. And if they're not, you're screwed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. We'll see what's going to happen. We're about 48 hours away from game day. Let's see what's up.